So, look, we see this as an interesting or a coincidence, if I may, that he would so haphazardly, Twitter would so haphazardly push this distraction.
This is what Karin said. We see this as an interesting or a coincidence that Elon Musk would do haphazardly push this distraction full of old news. Twitter is facing very serious questions about the rising volume of hate. They are letting it happen. That is exact word from Karin. She never faced up the real question when being confronted about what is going on. I don't want to say much. I will play the video, but before I do that, if this is your first time coming, please remember to subscribe. Why not share this video? God bless you as we dive straight into this full clip.
So, look, we see this as an interesting or a coincidence, if I may, that he would so haphazardly, Twitter would so haphazardly push this distraction. That is a full of old news, if you think about it. And at the same time, Twitter is facing very real and very serious questions about the rising volume of anger, hate, and anti-Semitism on their platform, and how they're letting it happen. And, the president said last week, more leaders need to speak out and reject this. And it's very alarming and very dangerous. But our focus right now is helping the American families. I just talked about what the president is going to be doing in Arizona, talking about the CHIPS and Science Act, talking about how we're bringing manufacturing jobs back here to the U.S., talking about under this administration, more than 700,000 jobs have been created, in manufacturing jobs to be more specific. Look, what is happening, it's frankly, it's not healthy. It won't do anything to help a single American improve their lives. And so, look, this isn't. We see this as an interesting, coincidence, and it's a.
Yes, the way the mainstream media is covering this, you might think something different. Watching CNN, I realized the way they put this issue of this laptop and Twitter files, you might seem it's a different line story. This is what CNN is saying. They don't actually want to face what is inside. People struggling to actually interpret what all the fight says. The mainstream media is struggling to make people to believe this is actually misinformation. They are not doing the right job, but they are not covering it. That is the funniest part in what I've noticed. They are not covering what is happening or what happened, because they lied at the beginning, but now the real story is out. There's a clip I came across from CNN. I just want to play it so you can see what I'm talking about.
Musk is responding to the former President Trump. In a tweet, the Twitter CEO said, quote, "The Constitution is greater than any president." End of story.
So that response comes after Trump called for terminating parts of the Constitution. Stick with me, because this is a little convoluted here. Following the release of these so-called Twitter files. What are the Twitter files? Well, it's a tweet thread posted by Matt Taibbi over the weekend, which details internal Twitter discussions in 2020 about censorship. CNN's Christine Romans is here with us. I feel like I need a flow chart, Christine.
Yeah.
Or a, I don't know if it's a map or a timeline or what it is.
I actually made one.
See, this is why I love it when you're here, because I knew you would have that. There are a lot of steps to this. So if we let's start out with these so-called Twitter files that were released over the weekend, which were supposed to show what?
Well, they were released to a writer who then had a long tweet thread about them.
Watching this short clip from CNN, you can see it clearly. Mark came out to actually explain what Twitter files is all about. He's a journalist. But now, the way CNN is saying here, it's like this is not a credible something he did. They are struggling to discredit him, but they are not explaining or telling us what the Twitter files is all about. That is the funniest thing with the mainstream media. When there are real situations like what is happening, they don't face it. They don't actually come out clearly, to say what is going on. which is something I noticed. I decided to react on this clip so you can see what is going on.
So they weren't released to the public so everyone could see exactly what this was. But these are documents related to the internal discussions at Twitter in 2020 around a laptop that was found at a laptop repair shop that contained all kinds of really outrageous stuff from the now president's son. And inside Twitter, what you can see are all of these people who work there saying, is this real? This feels like Russian disinformation. Maybe it is real. Real arguments about how they should treat this material in an election.
CNN will not call it what it is. The laptop contained outrageous stuff. They don't know what is inside. But now the truth is out. Why not dig into what is actually inside so you can say with facts?
This was censorship by big tech, and that's why the president is saying you should throw out the Constitution because big tech is in cahoots with American democracy. But what it sort of shows is a real struggle at an important platform for how to deal with something so outrageous, so explosive, and what to actually do with it. What Poynter said, which is a media watchdog group, they said file the Twitter files under M for meh. And the Washington Post said there's no smoking gun here. We've known a lot of this, that Twitter really struggled with how to handle this explosive story that was published in the New York Post.
Also because they couldn't verify a lot of it at the time, which was a major issue.
Exactly.
Yes, they could. It could have.
I knew this would lead to this. The former president's name is coming into this. Why not focus on what you are talking about without calling his name on our segment? This is something we noticed with CNN. It has even reduced like before.
On another subject, when are you guys going to delete the White House Twitter account?
Why would we do that?
Well, you're saying that you're keeping an eye on Twitter because it might not be a suitable platform, so why use it?
Look, I want to be very clear here. The president has always said, and he has been very, very clear in his belief that it is important of social media platforms to continue to take steps to reduce hate speech and misinformation. And will continue to say that. But media platforms make independent choices about their information that they present. And so, look, I don't have anything to share on any policy or any changes that we will be making. We have multiple platforms, as you know, that we utilize to communicate with the American people.
On another subject, when are you guys going to delete the White House Twitter account?
Why would we do that?
Well, you're saying that you're keeping